Hi everyone, I'm Magenta Strongheart. I'm the director of Supplyframe's DesignLab, and I'm so excited to be here with Qualcomm Arduino Edge Impulse at the Edge Eye San Diego conference to bring this very special workshop that we've been developing over the last few months together. So again, just to echo Ed's words, we're really excited to have you here. This is the debut of this workshop, so we're excited to see what you guys think, give us feedback throughout, really connect with one another, connect with our team members here, and I'll pass it off to our workshop leads and engineering team here. We have Giovanni, Rami, and David from Supplyframe, Qualcomm, Edge Impulse, and Arduino. All that goodness. They're going to come on stage, tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we'll get into the main content of the event. Awesome.
Hello, everyone. I am Giovanni Salinas, Senior Product Development Engineer at Supplyframe DesignLab in Pasadena. And yes, we're going to have a very exciting, very interesting workshop where we will train an AI model. We use the brand new Arduino UNO Q. And I hope you all are caffeinated because we are going to go through a lot of information. Okay.
And, oh boy. And I'm David Tischler. I'm a developer relations engineer at Edge Impulse. And we're excited to walk you through. This is our first time doing this workshop, so we'll show you how to build Edge AI models running on the Arduino UNO Q that's in your kits. But you might have to be patient. And I see a lot of friendly faces in this audience, so if things don't go quite according to plans, then we'll work through it as we go. But up next, Rami.
Hey everyone, I'm Rami. I'm actually developer relations engineering from Qualcomm, so I'm kind of familiar with little bits of everything. If you have any questions or, we're here to support. Thanks.
All right. Well, let's get started. And again, if you're not caffeinated, may the odds be in your favor. This is everything that we are going to cover. First, we're going to go brief description, project intro, introduction to Edge AI, hardware overview. Then we're going to do some data training, software installations, capture sensor data. This is a practical workshop, so you're going to train the model yourselves. And then we're going to finally have our EchoGlow work with the commands that you load into it. So before we begin, I told you a little bit about myself, but now I would like to hear about you. We are at the Edge AI Foundation conference, so most of us know what Edge AI is, but I also recognize that there are folks who may be in other departments. Not everyone is in software or hardware. So is anyone here from, say, marketing, design, sales, something like that? Raise your hand. Is anyone here in software or hardware development? Raise your hand. All right. Great. Fantastic. So that will help me a lot in planning the pace of this workshop. Housekeeping, very quickly. Please make sure to write this down. Keep it in your computer, because we are going to use it with your Arduino UNO Q. So this is the Wi-Fi and the password. Let me know when you're ready. Real good? OK. Excellent. So UNO Q EchoGlow, exploring the practical applications of Edge AI. And as I said before, we are going to be using the brand new UNO Q, which all of you have in your kits. Now, certainly, when we design a product, we wouldn't use a dev board, right? The dev board is what helps us develop it quickly, iterate quickly, and once we have our model, once we have our product the way we want it to work, then that's when we go on designing custom PCBs, firmware, etc. So what we did here with this lamp is try to create a product-like enclosure that uses the UNO Q form factor. Okay, that's where it got its shape. So when I was working on this, I wanted it to show the LED matrix because it's a big feature of the UNO Q. And yeah, and the rest is custom PCBs that we made for this workshop. Now this would be something for you know, an audience that is probably not too familiar with electronic products. So I'm going to go over this very quickly. What is an electronic product? Well, there are three basic components in my interpretation. One is the mechanical component, other is the electronics, printed circuit board plus component, and the firmware. Okay? All of those interact, and you have to develop and iterate and change things as we go. Now, same thing. You all are here very well informed about microprocessors, microcontrollers, and code. You would probably know how to explain this better than I would. So I would just say that the new Arduino UNO Q is a very special dev board because it has both the power of a microcontroller, but also the microprocessor, right? And it runs Linux, which is a great addition. Now, things are moving quickly in the world of electronic product development. I remember a few years ago, everything was about IoT, right? First we had electronics, and then we had IoT, things that would connect to the internet. And we had great products, other not so great products. This crowd, I think you would probably remember, what's the name of that juice machine that needed to connect to Wi-Fi before it you know, squeeze the bag? Juicero. Yes, I always think of Juicero. That was fun. If you don't have Wi-Fi, no juice for you. So look it up if you're not familiar with it. It's a very interesting case study. So we've got great products. Not everything is great, and well, that's the reality for everything. But just as we had IoT before, now I feel like we are in the next stage, which is Edge AI. And Edge AI is bringing a lot of interesting innovation to everything. That's why we're here, right? So we have edge devices that compute, and again, you have a great understanding of this, but just to iterate, edge devices allow you to gather data and in real time without having to send it back to the server sometimes, you can solve problems, which is what we're going to do with our Arduino UNO Q. And yes, Rami will be able to talk about this better, also David. Speaking of which, David, would you have a moment to explain, please, how Edge AI models are made?
Yes, absolutely. Back up real quick. So Giovanni's spoken a little bit about hardware so far, and you all have hardware in front of you that we're going to end up using in a couple of minutes, hours, whatever the case may be. But we want to build an AI model that's going to run on the device. AI models, generally speaking, are built by collecting data, training the model, and then running the model, whether that is in the cloud or on the device like we're going to be doing today. So Edge Impulse is a platform to help you collect data. Once you have your data set, you can curate your data, you know, depending upon what you're attempting to classify or detect, whatever the case may be. Build an impulse, and that's your machine learning pipeline. You certainly want to test your model before you deploy it to production. Believe me, always test your model. And then ultimately put that model onto your devices out in the field. And that can be delivered via OTA or, in our case today, right across the USB cable that's in your kits. But you also want to then measure your model's performance once it's on the device, once it's in the field. And Edge Impulse has some tooling in place for that as well to, you know, continually iterate upon your model. Back to you, Giovanni.
Thank you very much. So we are going to get started now. Now, one of the features of the new Arduino UNO Q is that it downloads updates, and you always need to download updates upon starting it. So this is what we're going to do now. Sometimes the updates may take a minute. So while we are having this conversation, we are going to leave our Arduino Unos downloading those updates. So please, you see the Arduino Uno box there. Could you please take it out of your kits? Basically, this is what we're going to do today. First, we're going to use connected hardware. We're going to train the AI models that David mentioned. Then we're going to package those AI models. That's what Edge Impulse does great. It helps you train your models, and then it packages them into readable code for your specific hardware, and then you code your hardware with the specific actions that you want to give it, and then it's, again, as David mentioned at the beginning, test, rinse, repeat. It's never expected that hardware will work at first. Does hardware work at first for you? It never does for me. Yes. Okay, something that I wanted to mention here. Models are generally trained in powerful devices, but it's important to maintain a degree of equivalency when gathering data. Okay, so you may be able to train your model, say an audio module with a great microphone, but if you do that and then the microphone that you're going to use in your device is not that good, then that may create inconsistencies. Same with cameras. If you use a high-end camera to train, when your cat is showing up in front of your door, and then you use a cheap webcam, there may be some inconsistency. So when you train models after this workshop, try to keep consistency in both the environment and the equipment that you're using. All right, getting ready. You should have received an email yesterday or the day before about the downloads and creating accounts. Did everyone do your homework? Did you guys create your Arduino account? You didn't do your homework. I see a lot of nothing. Edge Impulse account.
Nobody did their homework?
Nobody did their homework. He did, gentleman in the light blue T-shirt. Thank you. Okay, something else that I wanted to mention. We put different kinds of USB cables in the boxes. Some of them are USB-C to USB-C. Some of them are USB-C to USB-A. So if you got the right one, fantastic. If not, make friends with the person next to you, and maybe you can swap them. Okay. Also, we requested that in that email. So guys, please, everyone, go to Arduino and Edge Impulse websites and create your accounts. You're going to need them for the next step. Very easy to get your Edge Impulse account. And then Arduino, same. So let's do this. I'm going to give it, 4 minutes? Is that enough? Or is that a lot? No, for creating the accounts. Just creating the accounts.
With this internet, you need more.
I was wondering how well the Wi-Fi was going to hold up when 50 people attempt to download this update.
Well, let's not download updates just now. Let's focus. Please, if you are a few steps ahead, try not to download the updates just yet. We saved some time for that. Let's focus right now on opening Arduino and Edge Impulse accounts. So I'm going to give it 3 minutes, guys. anyone has any questions about how to create one of those accounts, please let us know.
What was the Wi-Fi password? One more time. Go back.
For those of you who need the Wi-Fi password. Perfect moment for a selfie. No pressure, but you have 1 more minute. No, for sure. Okay. Let's get going. So let's assume that you all now have Arduino accounts and Edge Impulse accounts live. Now, what we're going to do, we mentioned about the Arduino UNO Q downloads, updates, okay? So this is what we are going to do now first. Yeah, let me take it here. So take your Arduino UNO. Oh, by the way, have you installed the AppLab too? Yes? Okay, well, now let's go back and install Arduino AppLab. Now, it's very important. You may be familiar with this. We are not installing Arduino IDE. Okay, that we are not. AppLab. Arduino AppLab. This is the one you want. And the cool thing about this new environment is you have it for Mac, Windows, and Linux. It works in a lot of platforms. Okay, let's assume that you have Arduino AppLab installed now. Now, what we are going to do, open your Arduino AppLab or not, but connect your board, okay? And once you have it connected, then you go to AppLab. Give it a moment for it to wake up. And then all these UNOs, the UNO Q, they have random names assigned. Do not choose any that has the network on top, okay? Because those are your the people, the attendees board. So you're going to see a bunch of UNO Qs here eventually. Now you have to just wait for a second, as I mentioned, and then eventually you are going to see your Arduino UNO Q with the USB. Okay. Now this one is taking a moment. Is everyone in this step? Are you guys connecting your Arduino? Do you see your Arduino UNO USB? Yes? Okay, please click on it, and it's going to prompt you to install updates. It's going to walk you through the connect to the Wi-Fi steps. Okay, I heard the tung tung tung, so maybe it is here. No, it is not. I don't know why I don't see mine. That's okay. As long as you see yours, it's try not to connect over the network, okay? First of all, you wouldn't guess which one's which. And number two, faster connection directly to your computer. So is everyone downloading UNO Q updates now? Yes. Yes, you may use any network you want, but I think the event is the easiest to just. Yes, the device needs to download updates. As a matter of fact, you can't use it if you don't update it first. Need it for now. Oh yeah, you should create a password. Now, some of the boards may have a password already, okay? And if that is the case, then just type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they don't have a password, then you create it, okay? But if your boards need a password, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are the steps. Connect your UNO Q, open AppLab, download updates. Is everyone there? It's not asking you to update. Did you input the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? On the Arduino? No, the Arduino itself. No? Okay, great. Well, if any ask you, you know now. That's the password. So this is what you will see. This is Arduino AppLab. It's a very different welcome to the usual Arduino IDE, right? Has any of you used this environment before? You have? Anyone else? You have? I see 2, 3 hands. Okay, so great. This is the new era. This is the new interface. And Arduino developed this so that you could use all the capabilities of the Qualcomm chips and AI. Okay? So now you have what are called bricks. And bricks are preloaded examples that interact with the microprocessor, that do AI also. But you also have conventional, traditional sketches, okay? And we're going to do something like that in a minute. So if you see this screen, it means that you're good. You're okay, all right? So this is what you should see. If you see that it is downloading, it's fine. Just leave it like that. And while it is downloading, we are going to talk a little bit more in depth about Edge Impulse with David and Rami. Okay, so now we're going to switch roles. I'm going to be walking around in case you have any questions, and David and Rami are going to talk about Edge Impulse.
Is anyone still not able to connect to the Wi-Fi? Yeah, it's a little finicky. Rami, do you want to take a look? Yeah, and then let's see here. Giovanni, I had about 300 slides. Where did they go? You said we had 4 hours. What? What happened to the rest of them? No, teasing. So we started to talk about this earlier, and Edge Impulse will bring up the platform in a moment. I know you all created accounts already, but the platform is designed to build customized Edge AI models, and customized is the key word here, because ChatGPT or off-the-shelf models that already exist can do lots of great things. ChatGPT can tell you what a banana is, what a human is, what a dog is, what a vehicle is. But when you want something a bit more unique, you need to do a custom AI model. And so I'll use these as examples, but they're certainly not the only examples. In the vision world, if you want a model that can detect very precisely, very specifically, Holiday Barbie 2025 edition, I don't know, ChatGPT might be able to tell you. I'm not really sure. You can find out. Or that is a 13-gallon per minute brass valve, probably a quarter turn, maybe a half turn, and you're a manufacturer of these types of products, different hardware coming down an assembly line, and you want to identify specific units. Again, I don't know that there is an existing model that can do that for you right now, that you can deploy onto your inspection station at the factory. How about if you're in the business of producing these Barbies or any other doll, and you want to do quality inspection, defect detection? There's no existing model right now that's going to be able, ChatGPT is not going to be able to tell me that there are some minor flaws in this particular product as millions of these dolls come down the assembly line. Or in the case of the valve, that there are some joints that weren't welded properly. And you can use a model once you have taken enough photos, because we talked earlier about data sets and collecting your data. If you take, let's say, 1,000 pictures, maybe more, maybe less, you'll iterate and experiment, but let's just say hypothetically 1,000 pictures of said Barbie doll, you know what a high quality, proper specimen is supposed to look like, then you can build a model that will be able to identify what that proper doll looks like, and using confidence or standard deviations be able to determine where anomalies or defects are and render that onto a heat map. And so you can very quickly do your quality and defect detection. But we're actually talking about audio today. I used images as an example because they're just easier to grasp the concept, just the mental model of it. But audio, if you want to create a model that we're going to build today, Giovanni, where did you go? What are our wake words that we're going to be using? I think turn on, shut off, and dim. Oh. Right. Yeah, that's all right. But point being is, those models don't necessarily exist at this exact moment. So we're going to create them. And again, that's the process we'll go through of collecting data, training the model, and then deploying it onto the UNO Q. And then in the sensor world, another example that we see quite often is creating a custom model for industrial machinery. The air conditioning in this building right now seems to be working. I think I can hear a fan blowing, if you're very quiet. And it's cool enough in here. But where are the air conditioning units for this building? Are they on the roof? Maybe. Are they in a separate chilling facility? Maybe. Let's say that they're on the roof. Is anyone up there right now walking around and listening for strange noises like that one? Is anyone up there monitoring for wild vibrations? Is the unit on fire? Who knows? Sounds like it might be. So what you can do is attach a sensor to the unit. What is the brand, the make, the model? ChatGPT is not going to tell me the normal vibrational pattern of whatever unit is on the top of this building. But if we attach a sensor to that unit and we let it sit there for a week, maybe 2 weeks, collecting data to build up our data set, we will eventually begin to understand the normal vibrational pattern of that particular unit. Then we can build our model based on that data and deploy it to the little sensor that's on the unit. Now, once the model is on the unit, hope that it never sends you an alert. But if it does, then climb up onto the roof and investigate. So that's why you need customized AI models. There is not one that I know of right now that will tell me the normal operational rhythm of whatever type of HVAC is up on the roof. And that's only one example. There's others as well. Enterprise pumps, industrial machinery, things like that. Pipeline inspection, all kinds of use cases. I use the air conditioning example because it actually is very relevant. At a show about 6 months ago that we did, the air conditioning was genuinely broken, and I said, well, you needed to, put some sensors up there. Now somebody has to go up and investigate, but it was too late. It was 1,000 degrees in the room. And then I think this is where I transition back to you, Giovanni, because you cut out my 400 other slides. No, I'm teasing you. I think we are about ready to begin collecting data, or do you have almost? All right. I was jumping the gun a bit.
Can you scroll to go to the next one?
One more. Okay, deployment. Actually getting the model onto your UNO Q. So Edge Impulse has some tooling in place of how to get the model into a format that will be recognized and understood by the UNO Q or lots of other hardware as well. You can export your model as C++, as an Arduino library, as things that can run on other Qualcomm hardware, as well as MCUs, GPUs, NPUs, some custom accelerators. So whatever type of hardware you happen to be using will, of course, use the UNO Q in front of you today, but there's lots of other hardware options available and runtimes and libraries. Okay. Now we're ready for you.
Start with the training.
Okay.
Of, models.
We're ready.
Let me just give them a quick introduction,
Okay.
and then we'll get started. All right. So this is where we are going to. Just before the Edge Impulse, we're going to do a quick Arduino UNO Q warm-up. Now, everything that David said, I found it really, really interesting, and I'm very passionate about all this. I didn't mention my background is not in software. I am a product designer, physical products. So the possibilities for this are amazing with Edge AI. Because again, you don't need to have an LLM to work all the time, right? You don't need your toaster to know who was the president from this to this term, or to, explain how certain things work. You can just have it dedicated to certain things, and that's what we do with Edge Impulse and with devices like the UNO Q. The possibilities, not just for industrial, but also for commercial products, are fantastic. Now, very quick overview before we really begin with the training of the models. What we are going to do is the following. We're going to collect data, and that data is going to be in your voice. Okay? we are going to build a lamp. It's not so much of a lamp, it's more like a night light, okay? And then we're going to build the impulse, train the model, and then download the model. Remember how I told you one of the great things about Edge Impulse is how you can both train and basically pack the data, put it in a nice box that your device will be able to read. Okay, well, that's exactly what we are going to do, and that's the download model step. We are going to be using a lot of information. I based this tutorial a lot on the information found on docs.edgeimpulse.com. So if you want to keep that in your tabs, it would be a great idea. Okay, so I'll just give you a second to copy that address, docs.edgeimpulse.com. Okay, how are we doing with the UNO Qs? Is everyone finalized with the downloading updates? Can you raise your hand if you're still waiting for updates? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, you can't run it without the updates. Does anyone have it completed? You can open AppLab. You see the bricks. Bricks being, what are the bricks? These are the bricks. You see these. Okay. How many? Can you raise your hand? How many of you? And how many don't get to the bricks just yet?
So let's get started with training your models.
Let's switch gears and go to add to your Edge Impulse account, please. You should see something probably like this, but you may not have a new project. So let's go ahead and create a new project. Now, with the free version, you can have up to 3 private projects. I would recommend for this one to use public ones, and that way you can share, you can collaborate with others in this room and beyond. So maybe choose public, create a new project. EchoGlow 3, that's what I named it. You can name it any name you want. I would recommend, though, if you're going to be sharing your project, maybe do something like this. Maybe do EchoGlow plus your initials, or EchoGlow plus your pet's name. You know, something that allows us to know that this is the EchoGlow project, but also keep it individual to yourselves. Okay? Yeah. Now, you can collect data from 3 different sources. One would be your phone, the other one your computer, and another one a dev board or specific device. For this training, I would find it very practical if you used your phone. Okay, I think that would be a faster way of doing it. It's really practical. You could also use a computer, but we will see why that could be a bit of a challenge today. So, okay, you create a new project. Then you go on and click on collecting data. Now take it out. Take a look at what I'm going to do. Yeah. And this is so fantastic with Edge Impulse. I make it easier way. So you can go on. I'm going to switch to the camera. So take a look at my phone. I'm going to scan the QR code. Okay. I feel right. So I scanned that QR code.
takes me to data collection. Right. So what are we doing today? Today we are collecting audio. Okay. I have a connecting audio. I gave access to microphone. Okay, and before this, I want to spend a few moments talking to you about something very important. Couple of things. Number one, you have the option of collecting data in individual recordings. So you could say, turn on, well, you could have this sequence. Record, turn on, stop. Record, turn off, stop. Record, turn off, start. 200 times, right? Fun. Or you can just record 2 minutes straight of you saying, turn on, turn on, turn on, turn on, turn on, turn on. Just give it a pause. They'll go turn on, turn on, turn on, because it didn't detect it. Oh, you gotta have a pause. You gotta have a pause. So I started with the other, and it's not practical. I would recommend you to, because I'm selecting 1 second or 1,000 milliseconds, go for 10,000 or 20,000 milliseconds, which is actually, I did like 3 minutes straight, or 2.5 minutes straight.
Average of that 2,500 milliseconds or 25 bells. So
Yes, I'll wonder the math. Anyway, if you can do around 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes of each command, each word, you should have a decent model. Okay, so again, these are the intricacies that David can talk to you about. I tried, but not because I know much about it, but I tried to give it different intonation, different accent, different background noise. Okay, and I again, turn on. You really need to turn on, turn on, turn on. Even I even tried to do the like frustrated voice. Turn on. You know, different ways. So we will get to that. But now this is the really, really important part. And if this is not followed, things will not work. Okay? And we could even spend some time trying to figure out why they didn't work. So your impulse or your package data is going to have a tag. And that will be discussed later on. But you need to know that your package data will have a tag. That tag lives in your Arduino code. Okay? It is of the utmost importance that the tag is written exactly as it will be included in the code. Make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. We built some code for you already. Okay? We built some code that works, and it has 4 specific tags. These are the tags. So please type them exactly as they are, respecting small cap, capital, all that, dashes. Keep them in your notebook exactly. If you put, I don't know, brighter all caps, it won't work. Okay? This is so important that I will ask everyone in the audience to raise your hand when you are positive that you have it exactly as this is written there. So could you guys raise your hand, all of you, when you are positive this is written exactly? Correctly. Yes? All right. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And sorry I'm so specific about this. So now you will see why I am mentioning that.
when it's the time for you to start recording, you have to choose a label. Okay? So that's where you're going to, you don't need to do it just now. Let me just walk you through the process. You will choose a label. Whoops. By the way, yeah, you will need to be signed to your account here, but I think that does it automatically. Then the length, you could go for 200 seconds. This is seconds, not milliseconds, okay? Yeah, that's why we didn't get the math right. So on the phone, the length is in seconds. In the web interface is milliseconds. Okay? So 200 would be a nice, how would you call that? It's not a model.
3 minutes, 20 seconds.
Okay. Category. Yeah, if you want to make your life a little easier, I mean, just save a click or two. Split automatically, 80-20. This is something that Rami and David can talk about in detail. So instead of doing all training or all testing, let it split it automatically. And then that's when you start recording. So I am going to ask all the participants today to do this. This all looks good. We have the correct label. We have a decent length of recording. We have the categories. Let me just change this for a second so that you see what happens here. So let's do 10 seconds, set length, and this is brighter. So I'm going to start recording. Brighter, 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 brighter. Okay? And now, you see what just popped up here? 10 seconds off. My beautiful voice. In different.
I don't think you paused enough in between them, though.
Well, we can find that out. Let's see. So
Down a little. In the middle. Yeah, maybe.
maybe, but you see, I got impatient here.
Yeah, you got too impatient.
I got impatient, and then I paced myself again. Now, the really cool part about this is you can just click on this and then hit split sample. This, David would know better how to manage this. Should we just go for a quick split?
Just remove that one.
This one?
Too close, yeah.
All right. Okay. And then you,
Add segment. There, yeah, add a segment and drop a new box in. But that's how you would.
yeah, there we go. Oops. There
Yeah,
it
bring
is.
that one across and then just leave it there.
See?
Yeah, leave the others out. Yeah.
Nice. So instead of recording one by one, you can do it in one pass. And then split, and it's creating the segments. Right now, the computer is doing your work. Boom. Okay, so we are going to stop here my intervention because I'm going to ask you to do what I just did. Okay? Now, why am I saying that using the phone would be a great idea for this workshop? If you guys do it with your computer, it's very likely you're going to hear the person next to you. Okay? So this is a nice moment for you to stretch your legs, walk around, talk, well, not talk, but do all these models, and come back in 15 minutes. But this is work, okay? Don't just go somewhere. Don't. You're going. Yeah. Yeah. Don't go on WhatsApp or Instagram or no. This is actual work. You have to be recording these. So these are the 4 commands that we are going to be using: warmer light, cooler light, brighter, and dimmer. Okay?
Can we record them together, like create everything on the mobile, or we have to come to the laptop?
Either is fine. You can do both. You can do just one. Yeah.
But make sure that the label is exactly like that. It is case sensitive. So just get your label
If
correct.
you create your models with the wrong label and you split 200 different iterations and you're just missing one letter or it's capital instead of something else, you can either redo the whole thing or change the label one by one.
Yeah.
So
You can bulk update the labels inside of Edge Impulse, but your code is specific to that. So
Yes.
let's just try to get the labels correct.
I'm going to leave this here. When you begin with your training, make sure to type these exactly as they are. And please begin. It is 11:07. Let's regroup at, what, 11:30?
Yeah.
That'll give us 30 minutes to walk down the,
Yep. Give us time to
creating
get
the
some
impulse.
coffee also.
coffee. Yeah, but don't give them ideas. They should be they should be
should
doing
be
this.
working.
Don't go get coffee, okay?
Okay, all right.
Repeat, do the iterations, okay? So let's get started, please. High-tech products can end up being frustrating, right? So these are some reflections and some questions for your own product design that I put together. When you're designing your next Edge AI product, these are a few questions that I would recommend you stop and think about. What interactions do we want between our product and users? Is it going to be active Edge AI or passive Edge AI? You know the difference? Active is when you ask your AI device to do something. Turn on, turn off. Passive, it's when it's just recording, and a great example would be a security camera that all of a sudden turns on this green square, and then it follows a cat or a person, right? So you have those two. Is your product going to be active or passive? Are you monitoring when people say something so that an action will happen, or are you just gathering data, etc.? So it's tempting to have a lot of commands. More commands mean more richness in your device. But you have to train all that data, right? So for this workshop, 80 iterations would be acceptable. But for a real product, and that's something that David can talk about much more, you would need hours of data, right? So if you plan to add a lot of commands, just keep in mind that each command needs to be differentiated from another command. Each command needs lines of code in your Arduino sketch or in your device. And each command needs testing, okay? So, but one of the most important for me is the differentiation between commands. If you have two words that sound too similar, then your model is going to have issues. If you, I don't know, I can't think of something right now, but if you have two words like turn on, turn off, maybe that could be a problem. Or if you can think of something else, right, that sounds similar. That's why I try to differentiate these. And I put a tip there. Use short sentences, short words, that's always good, that are not, I don't know how to pronounce this, monosyllabic, thank you, monosyllabic. And I don't remember if I read that on the Edge Impulse website or somewhere, and I found that very interesting. When you say, hey Siri, it's not just because of the branding. It's because they created that model in a way that the sounds would be easy to distinguish for the model, okay? Not just for you. Or, hey Arduino, right? If you just say, hi, it could mean a lot of things. Maybe, hi, hey, right? So try to, again, when you're designing your own products, try to use short sentences that are well differentiated. And that's why I came up with these. Warmer light is very different to cooler light, right? Brighter. At the beginning, I used, instead of dimmer, I used dim. And I got a lot of errors. So dimmer worked much better, okay? All right. Someone asked, actually I had a couple of questions. And this is very interesting. Could we use a different language? Can we say, instead of brighter, verbally say, I don't know, how would you say that in Italian? Or in Chinese? Or in Hindi? I can tell you in Spanish, brighter, brilloso, maybe. So, yes, you can use that, no problem, as long as you keep the same labels, the same tags. You can say anything you want. I mean, you could even troll your friends. And the warmer light tag, use it for cooler light, right? You can do that, no problem. Just follow those same things. If you are going to say it in Chinese, come up with or select words that are well differentiated and that have more than one syllable. Okay, the same goes for any language. Eventually, you can modify the code, and not just the words themselves, but even the tags can be any that you want. Okay? All right. Are we good so far? Do we all have our models? By the way, lunch will be served soon. We'll talk about that in a second. How are we doing with the updates, by the way? Raise your hand if someone is still waiting for updates. No, like the judges would say, I see no hands raised. Does that mean we all have our updated AppLab and updated UNO Qs? Cool. Okay, so in the next few minutes, yes? Yeah, well, if that happens, it's very, very easy with just a few clicks. So that is actually the next step. So we are going to get to that. David, we're going to start with the practical use of Edge Impulse. So let's assume...
We're going to do it live?
No. Oh. No. A mix.
A mix, okay.
So let's assume everyone has their model, their data, and you haven't done anything else. Okay, this is where it's going to get real. We are going to slice, dice, wrap, package, and send to your device. So we have this, and then we've got a few questions. They had train and test split, but they still got 100% here. Okay. So that's very easy to just...
That's an easy fix. If you see this, if you have train and test split with 100/0, come to your dashboard. Scroll down into the danger zone. Click on Perform Train Test Split and type in Perform Split. I have questioned why this is so dangerous, and I have not received a good answer yet, because it has never failed for me. But if we go back to data acquisition now, it has split it 85-15. When we were collecting, we saw that it would have done it as 80-20. I'm still comfortable with this. And what it actually means is, how many samples do you have in your project,
Very
Giovanni?
few, so
You
let's,
only
let's
have
go to the real deal.
go to the real deal.
And this is the one where I
Okay.
did my homework.
All right. In this one here, where you went through the full process, you came away with 14 minutes and 43 seconds of audio, which was ultimately split up into 705 plus 178. Do the math. Unique iterations. Okay. So what we're going to do, all right, let's say that is 883. Okay, so you had 883 unique samples. What we want to do, though, is only train on 705 of those samples. I want to take 178 of them and set them aside. We're not going to use them yet. We will use them later when we test the model. But out of your 883, only 705 will be used to create the model. And does everybody now have an 80-20 or an 85-15 split?
How does it get chosen which 20% is?
Randomly. You can, however, move them back and forth among the training or the test set as you iterate and develop. If you find maybe Giovanni, maybe your tone was a little aggressive and it was in the test set, but really you want that one in your training set, you can move back and forth. So it take data curation or data set curation is extremely important.
Another thing is if you're training, you said training is done on the 80%.
Yes.
The train and validation is in the 80%.
Training validation is within the 80%, yes.
Split within the training.
You can configure it. It defaults to 10, but it can be configured. All right. You want to come?
Time to create the impulse.
Yeah.
Should we show them slides or just go through what's already done?
If you want to live dangerously, we can certainly do it live.
No. All right.
We can flip back to live as we go.
Yeah, okay, so what we will do now, we'll cover the creation of the impulse step by step in a descending order. And this is something I like a lot. You just go step by step with the right parameters. So after data acquisition, then we have to move directly to create impulse, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's time to now go through the model pipeline creation.
Yes. So first thing first, make sure you have a window size of 1,000 milliseconds, which will match your samples. Window increase.
I think I had seen one or two people did have to increase you had a larger window size because you had some slower iterations of the word, and that's fine. You'll need to match. I think you were at 1,700, but everybody else I think was at 1,000, so set it to 1,000 for the rest of the folks.
Now, this is also a very important part. that you need to keep in mind. When you go to audio processing block, you click on Add a Processing Block. Go to Audio MFE, okay? Make sure you're using this one. Do not use MFCC for this project. You can use it later on for other projects for this. Audio MFE, okay? So you go and hit Add. I'm not going to do it because I already did. Signal audio. So one of the things we found is that this creates the right tag for the Arduino
I was going to ask
AppLab.
if you were using, you must have it in your AppLab, or the brick has it in as MFE.
Yes, if we use the other one, it does
Yeah.
not give you that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so MFE, we're good there. And then we're going to add a learning block. When you go for learning block, and this is the reason why we used MFE, go to keyword spotting. Okay? And select keyword spotting. Okay? So you have these two, MFE and keyword spotting. Output features. Oh, that reminds me. We didn't add the noise and unknown.
Let me speak to it for a moment.
Please.
So you have 6 classes here: brighter, cooler, dimmer, warmer, noise, and unknown. You all have 4, right? We didn't add some noise or unknown audio into your data sets. Your data sets are going to be trained on only those 4 words and nothing else. We're going to find out how reliably it works. I like to add some noise and some unknown data into the data set to make a more robust model. And I'll give you a little bit different example, but it really illustrates the point better. I build models all the time, visual models, object detection, image classification, anomaly detection, visual, the normal stuff with bounding boxes. And I build these models on my desk in my office. And then I deploy it onto the device, pack up, and head to a conference, head to a show. And every single time I get to the show, and I plug things in, and I try to run my model, and it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because at the show, the lighting conditions are different. The camera I'm using is different. The angle of the camera is different. Shadows, sunlight, maybe they put me near a window and there's literal sunlight flooding the table. If you can collect more and varied data into your data set, you build a more robust, more generalized model. It's definitely hard to simulate some of the conditions. I don't know where our event is going to be and the booth is going to be, and is it fluorescent lighting, is it whatever kind of LED lighting this is, what equipment am I going to have on site, you know, noise like that. Yeah, keyword spotting and audio classification models in a busy, noisy conference hall. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Embedded World, but it is loud in there. So, you know, these are the things that will make a model fail. If you can collect data from where a device is ultimately going to live and train on that data, that is pure gold. Your data from the final location and final conditions, real world data, real world conditions, that is going to build your best model. But in a scenario like this, where you have provided near perfect data into your data set, it's helpful to introduce some randomness so that the model is more generalizable. So it doesn't turn your lights off if it hears something that may sound somewhat similar to what you've trained upon. So that's why you have those additional classes in here that will build, in truth, a better model, but for workshop purposes, we should be fine. Make sense?
Great. Well, just for everyone to know, you can download straight from Edge Impulse website in the docs.edgeimpulse.com some set of noise and unknown noises, so that you don't have to go and downtown.
Yeah, apologies, I didn't clarify that we provide the noise data set and you just ingest it into your project right through the bulk upload. But we'll skip it for now, it's fine.
Exactly. So when you see all this data of mine, this dimmer is my voice, but this unknown, I downloaded it from Edge Impulse's website. Okay? All right. So we're creating the impulse. I assume you all did this. You hit on Save Impulse, and then we move on to the next stage, MFE. Then here, I think these parameters are fine.
Yeah, the defaults are...
Defaults work for this workshop.
Yep.
Hit Save Parameters. And then after that, it's going to run some calculations. Edge Impulse servers are going to get some
Did you click save? Is it doing it?
work.
Or are we waiting on Wi-Fi?
No, well, I did it already. So
Oh, it's already... Yeah, you can go to the next page and just show it
and
then.
then
Right,
it'll
forgot.
send you to Generate Features.
There you go. There's
So
your...
the farther apart is better?
Yes, but again, in the concept of having some random and unknown data in there in order to generalize upon, I mean, it's clustering nicely is what I can see. You do have some overlap between your oranges and your reds. Which labels are those? Warmer and cooler. So your voice, the audio signature of your voice in those two keywords is actually pretty similar. So we're going to have to see if this works well or not.
Yeah, you see, I thought I did a good job.
I thought you did
at
too,
that,
but we're going to find out after the
but
model's trained.
Not so much, but on the other hand, how about this? This is
Yeah, that one's good. That's and you spoke
nice.
about this a little bit about Hey Siri. It was chosen in a way because of it's unique enough in its signature. It's an outlier versus many other phrases. So
all right. So after this, well, you click on Generate Features, then you would see something like this. Hopefully better.
yeah, your voices are all unique, so maybe you don't have that overlap among warmer and cooler.
Now, when you train this, you may want to have other people say the same words for you. Just as David mentioned, depends on how you're going to plan to use it, right? If you are the sole user of this thing, but you have your neighbor train it, yeah.
If
Or the
I
other
come
way
to
around.
your house and I try to control your lamp, it may not.
It may not work.
may not react to my voice.
Okay, and then this is what the processing time estimates you're going to be using of RAM. So this is good for the hardware designers. You got some interesting data here. After Generate Features, then we go to Transfer Learning. We're getting close.
Yep. And this
This-
is the actual training step. So we did all of our pre-work at this point. We've collected our data. We've built our pipeline. It is now truly time to train it. For those of you familiar with the term epochs, number of training cycles is what that is. Are these the defaults? Did you change
Yes.
these? These are the defaults, was 30 cycles.
Yes.
Learning rate 0.01 and training on CPU is fine. No, the training run is done in the cloud. When you click on this, I mean, this is a, you're on a website right now, so obviously, you're online, you're on the internet. If you scroll down a little bit more at the bottom, that save and train button is going to set off a job for the training runs, and that will be done in the cloud. At the end of it, we'll come away with the model file, and that's what we'll use and run locally. So only this part is in the cloud. But if you want to scroll back up, Giovanni, you trained on 30 cycles and that was enough, then I say let's leave it as is.
Good.
Yep.
All right, and then, okay, peak RAM usage, flash usage.
Yeah, this is all fine. So you can go ahead and click on Save and Train and fire off your training job. There's how many people in here? 50-ish, 48?
50-ish, 40-something.
40-something? Hope the server survives.
Yes, they're going to get a lot of work real quick.
You're about to make a server very angry, but that's okay.
This may take a moment, right?
Yeah,
this is the one that takes a
this'll-
little longer.
This will take a little longer,
So this is-
especially with 50 of you, but that's all right.
This is the perfect moment for launch-related announcement.
Oh, good. All
I'll hand
right.
it to Magenta.
There's nothing special about the lunch announcement. That there will be lunch around 12, ready for all of the workshop participants, so all of you. And it's kind of a working lunch, so up to you. If you want to keep working on your projects while you have lunch, you're welcome to have it here. We'll just ask that you kind of clear out the trash once you're done so that we can have workspace still. I think that's everything as far as lunch goes. But you're welcome to leave the room for a minute and take a break if you want, of course, and take the lunch with you, whatever you prefer. It's just lunchbox styles. We'll be setting up in the back here in just a moment.
Okay, thanks.
Or do you have your mic?
Thank you, Magenta. So we are going to stop when the lunch is ready. We're going to stop for 20 minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, we're going to keep going. How are you guys doing? Did you fry the servers or not?
Has anybody completed training? Halfway? Okay. Anyone on this side? Has anybody completed the training yet? No, no. Still going? The hamsters are still spinning in the wheels? Okay. How quickly is it going through the epochs on yours? It's not too bad. It's not a lot of data. Larger training jobs, I would have had you select GPU for the compute. In a smaller run, it doesn't make a large difference one way or the other. An image data set with a lot of images, many, many thousands of images, I would send you onto the GPU, but for this, the difference isn't negligible. Yeah. Is everyone at least started on the training? Is it going? All right.
Okay, meanwhile, while we wait, let me show you how to get Edge Impulse's library of unknown and noises. Okay? The easiest way would be just a quick Google search. So you can do Edge Impulse keyword spotting. There we go. Edge Impulse keyword spotting. If you Google that, don't go to the first result. I mean, you can find it from there, but the direct link to that database is here, the second one. So just go to keyword spotting, audio classification, keyword spotting, and
Showing them where the noise.
yes, exactly. So this is where you can download all the noise. You can clone the public project or just download to your computer, okay? So here it is. And that's where I got all these noises.
Cars, copy machines.
It's a little bit of everything.
Field. Yeah.
It's
kitchen,
fun.
A living
I
room.
listened to a
Munching?
few.
Did you add that one? Munching.
No, I added other noises. Neighborhood. I added neighborhood speaking. Neighbor speaking. So yes, you can download those noises from here and make your models even more capable.
Yeah.
All right. So let's assume we all are here. You hit save and train. It worked. Now we're going to the next. We don't need to do retrain model unless things.
Nah, we won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't need to retrain. At least not now. I mean, we certainly could later on if we do add noise or you add additional data that you collected, but we don't need it for now.
The thing I do want to mention right now, let's pause for a second, go to dashboard, and make sure you have keyword spotting as a tag. But don't add it. If you add it, it means nothing. It has to, it should be automatically there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So go to dashboard and see that just like mine, you have keyword spotting.
Add your processing block.
Okay? Cool.
M.
If you have audio, it won't work.
Yep.
But I'm sure you have keyword spotting if you follow all the steps.
We will do keyword spotting
Cool.
and save impulse. Thank you.
Then we don't really need to do
Go to MFE.
live classification. We don't really need to do
We'll
test
leave
data
everything. Go ahead,
just
scroll
yet.
down. We're going to leave the defaults.
Same for this.
Save parameters.
We would just go straight to deployment.
Yep.
But this is where we're going to pause with Edge Impulse. Let's just leave it as it is for now. I know you may be tempted to click on build. Let's not do it just yet because we have to go back to our Arduino AppLab and do a little bit of housekeeping. Now, the thing you can do for now, deployment target. Remember when I said how one of the cool things about Edge Impulse is that you can have trained data that then gets packaged for specific environments or even devices? Well, this is that moment, okay? So the deployment target is how this Lego brick is going to be shaped, right? Now, you can create it as a C++ library. You can create it as an Arduino library. Don't. Because this Arduino library is for other Arduino devices. They, at Edge Impulse, created a custom one. You can just type it here. UNO Q. Right? So this is custom made for your board. So make sure you have that one selected. But let's not build the model just yet. Okay? We're going to get to that. At this moment, I'm going to ask if we should get started with lunch or if there's anything else to lay on the tables. It's all good about lunch? Ready? Fantastic. Yeah, okay, great. Right on time. It's noon. It's 12:02. Let's take 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I think let's do 15 minutes. We have a lot to cover. So please grab your lunch, walk around, get some drinks, be back, and we are going to get started at 12:20. Okay? As Magenta mentioned, you can have your lunch while we're working with this workshop. So, yeah, thank you.